Hel- Hello, hi. How to protect your private parts. Remember, we're doing programs on how to sex educate your child. How to sex educate your child. I've done quite a number, a few videos, and we're breaking them down into different topics. So how to sex educate your child. But today we're going to be, teaching our children as to how to protect their private parts. We did a video on the different parts of the body. We said that if we have to keep our sex predator away from our children, if we have to keep sex predators away from our children, we've got to teach our children the parts of the body. So if they know parts of the body, then they will be able to report any inappropriate, advancement and or touching, or recognizing a sex predator. So we did break the body parts into different sessions. We said there are private parts, there are public parts, and the public parts, the private parts are the parts of their bodies that nobody else should touch, because why? Their body belongs to them. So just to do a quick recap on that, let your child know that her body belongs to her, his body belongs to him, and nobody is permitted to touch his body, his private parts. And we did say that part of the private parts are the bottoms, the penis, the vagina, the breast, the armpits. So those are private parts that should not be touched. The laps, and those are private parts that should not be touched. And whoever makes any advancement towards touching their private parts should be, is actually a sex predator. But now we're going to be teaching our children as to how to protect their private parts. So teach your children these very simple principles, and who knows, you might be delivering and setting your child free from being predated or being preyed on by a sex predator. Teach your child to protect their body parts by covering their body parts. Wear clothes that cover your private parts. Don't expose any of your private parts, because they're private, and that's why they only belong to you. Are you understanding me? So teach your child to protect their private parts by covering their private parts. And as a parent, please do dress well. Don't dress in a way that is going to make your child copy you in a promiscuous way of dressing. You understand? Especially us ladies. Like, can I appeal to the ladies out there? The way we dress really does matter. If you're dressing up and all of your breasts are showing up, and half of your half top of your breast are can be seen by everybody, and you're wearing clothes that are actually sort of showing your pants, and that's not a good way of modeling a child that should be protected from predators. So please, teach them to actually cover them up. I don't mean in a way that maxi or anything like that, but in a way that would actually make them look like they're private. So number one thing you do is cover up your private parts. Don't expose your private parts. That's how you protect your private parts. Number two thing you do, to protect your private part, is to police them. What do I mean by policing them? You police your private parts by actually not letting anyone else touch it. That's what you do. You police them. You don't allow anyone else to touch your private part. That means you're policing your private part. So you cover them, you police them, and then what you do next, you shout if anyone touches your private part. That's number three. Shout if anyone touches your private part. You have to shout until the person stops. You have to shout until the person stops. We're looking at how to protect, we're looking at how to teach our children to protect their private parts. We said number one thing they need to do is to cover their private parts. Number two thing they need to do is to police their private part. That means they don't let anyone else touch their private part. Number three thing they need to do is to shout. If anyone tries to touch their private part, they need to shout out really loud until somebody hears them and rescues them, until the person actually stops. And then finally, number 4 way to protect your private part is to report anyone that touches any part of your private part. Report them. You must quickly report them to your parents, or to your teacher, or to any figure, any authority that is where you are. Like, if it's in a school, if a teacher touches any part of your private part, go and report to the head teacher, and let the head teacher know you're going to be telling your parents, or they need to call your parents immediately. You need to call your parents immediately, because you need to report it. And if you're in the Western world, there are things that they're going to do, because they're going to call the safeguarding officer in. They're going to inform the authority. They're going to bring in the police. They're going to bring in the social services. So they're going to deal with it. But in places where all of these facilities are not there, like Africans, Asian, and that, and please, in order to protect your child, teach the children all these various principles. So I'm going to quickly give a recap what we're doing with sex educating our children. And on this particular video, we're teaching on how to protect our private part. How does your child protect his or her private parts? Number one thing they need to do is to cover their private parts. That means wear clothes that are not revealing your private parts, that are not revealing your breast and all that stuff. And then number 2 thing you need to do is to police them. To police them means that you don't let anyone else touch your private parts. So police them, because they belong to you. Number 3 thing we need to do is to shout. If anyone tries to touch any part of your body, shout, scream until that person stops. And finally, if anyone tries to touch your private parts, you must report them. Report them to your parents, report them to your teachers, report them to your head teacher, report them. If it's your uncle, report him to your mother, to your father. If it's your auntie, report her. It doesn't matter who they are. Even if you respect them or whatever, you must report them. If you report them to your parents and they don't take action, then guess what? Report them in school. When you get to school, report them, and I'm sure your parents will love you, and they would take action. But please, all the parents out there, please, if your child comes with any allegation, even if you feel it's not true, you need to investigate it. If your child is coming up with allegation that somebody is tampering with them or in any way, you need to investigate the matter. It doesn't matter if the person is your sibling. It doesn't matter if you trust the person. It does not matter if the person is your partner. If the person is your partner and is not the father or mother of that child, or even if the person is your partner, if it's your husband, if it's your wife, it doesn't matter who they are. The moment a child comes in to report, to make an allegation against an individual about being touched inappropriately or molested in any way, you've got to do something about it. You need to investigate it anyway. Thank you so much. I hope that this video blesses you. This is Dr. Chris Ogedengbe. I'm a relationship and family life coach. I'm also the producer and the broadcaster of Parenting Without Tears. Thank you so much. I hope that this video has blessed you. Please, press the like button, and also, do share it on whatever platform you're watching me from. Do share it and let others be blessed. And give us, just make a comment on the comment box, so that we know it's actually been a blessing to you. And do obviously, by all means, subscribe to our channel so that we can bring more of this video your way. Thank you so much. Do have a good day. God bless. Dr. Chris Ogedengbe.